Hello everyone, welcome back to another video with Honeybee Stamps. I'm going to be creating a card today using the Gallery Wall collection from the most recent Hello Harvest release. This is a really fun set. So first of all, on the left here, we've got a red rubber stamp set that is called Gallery Wall Fall, and it's got all of these fall themed images that coordinate with the die set on the right. And then there's a lovely layers die set called Gallery Wall Art. And this is a die set that has all of these different frames and decorations for creating a gallery wall, and you can put those images into the frames. Now, I'm hoping that there's going to be more imagery in the future that coordinates with this lovely layers gallery wall art set. I think that would be brilliant. So I die cut the frames twice, the frames that I'm going to use for my project. You saw that die set's huge, so pretty hard to use every single frame on one project, but I chose these four shapes and I cut them twice, one out of white cardstock and one out of colored cardstock. This square one here you can see is kind of a dark orange color, and then the little corner pieces I die cut from some matte gold cardstock, and that cardstock matches the rectangular shape frame that I die cut there that you can see up in the left on my desk. Just wanted to repeat that metallic cardstock on more than just one area on my card. So I'm just using my honeybee tweezers here and my honeybee glue to glue these corner pieces into place. I really love these this ornate frame. I think it's really fun, and I love that you can just, use all different kinds of ways to create these frames. You could do some mixed media, you can use colored cardstock, you could use white cardstock and do some ink blending. Lots of ways that you can create and die cut these frames to make them however you want. So lots of really fun creativity that can be used to create these gallery wall scenes. So this is that rectangular one here. You can see, like I said, I die cut that from white, and then I'm just going to go ahead and use this matte gold cardstock here to create the actual frame. So we've got a brown frame here. You can see I'm just adding that to the white that I die cut, and then this one, this white one here that I've die cut. I've also die cut from a navy blue. I think this is Nimbus from Alt New. Really nice muted kind of navy. I'm going to use that same color of ink to go ahead and ink up and stamp the image from the Gallery Wall Fall red rubber set to stamp out that image here for inside of the frame. So that's going to match. I'm using the same color of ink as the frame, and then I'll try to do that for each one of the images here. So for the gold frame, I'm going to use some gold metallic ink and stamp that image out here just using a block, which is pretty easy here with these gorgeous stamps. These stamps are so detailed and they stamp out beautifully. So I love that. And I'm going to use dark orange colored cardstock or ink for this image here, which I think matches up nicely with my frame. And here you'll just see me using a dark brown for this tree, and that's going to match up with my dark brown oval frame here as well. So now you can just see how nicely those frames fit over top of those cutaway pieces, those inserts that you get when you die cut each one of the frames. So I've cut out a 5x7 card base. This is just a white side folding 5x7 card base. And because these frames are pretty large, if you want to use a few of them on one project, you're going to need a larger card base for sure. This is a piece of pattern paper from Textiles and Texture Vintage paper pad. Honeybee, I sound like a broken record, but they really do have the best pattern paper. And I love that their pattern paper pads are larger so that you can use them for a 5x7 card front. And so I just used my pencil to help me sort out the size that I need for the front of my card. And I'm going to take some dark brown ink, and I think this is the same ink that I used to stamp out that tree. And I'm going to just go ahead and add some brown ink around the edges of my pattern paper just by blending on a little bit here. I'm going to try to make the corners quite dark and a little deeper than the edges. And in that way, we just get some nice detail on our pattern paper. It just looks a little bit more dramatic and adds just that little bit of extra detail to the card front. So I'm just going to finish that up. This is a dye ink from Altenew. It's going to dry super fast. And once I have my table all cleaned up again, I'm going to start to figure out how I want to put these onto my 5x7 card front. So I've decided that I want my rectangular piece here up at the top. So I'm going to glue that into place, kind of eyeballing it and centering it. I put a piece of foam tape on the back of the little scene here, and that's going to pop the scene up from the frame a little bit just to add a little more detail and dimension to my card front. I'm going to get all of the frames glued down to my pattern paper. Once I've got everything glued down, I am going to add the images to the centers of each of the frames. So there's my blue one centered at the bottom. I've got this brown one over to the side. You can see the orange one is going to go, or the deep orange one is going to go over to the left there. And now I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, okay, what else can I add to this to add detail? So I'm going to take the words that are part of the gallery wall fall stamp set, and I'm going to add those to the frames. So this is going to be a gratitude card. And so all of the different sentiments here are related to that, like grateful, thankful, that kind of thing, harvest, and so on. And so definitely a fall, thanks, gratitude kind of a theme here. And I'm just using a dark brown ink to stamp those sentiments onto each one of the different areas of the frames. And just, trying to figure out how I can balance those out. That is why I added them to the areas I did. Now, this is another stamp from that stamp set. This is just a really beautiful leaf, and I've stamped that and I have heat embossed it with some gold embossing powder. And now those are just going to be a little bit of an added embellishment to my card front, just to add a little bit more detail. I'm going to put a foam square behind each one of those different leaves just to pop them up and give them that little bit of extra dimension. And at that point, I'm ready to add my card front onto my card base. I'm just going to add a little bit of repositionable tape runner to my card base to add my card front onto my card base. And I'm just going to eyeball that to get that into place here. I'll give that a bit of a press, and that's going to finish off my card. I have linked up, friends, in the description box below to all of the different products that I've used today for my project from the Honeybee shop. Make sure you check that out. Check out the Hello Harvest release. It is so gorgeous, so fun. It's very unique and interesting and different, and I really love it. So make sure you check it out. Have an amazing day, friends. Stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.